Alright, imagine sitting down after a long day, scrolling through endless titles, and then you land on a film that promises action, emotion, and a gritty sense of purpose all rolled into one. That is exactly the kind of experience Darkness of Man, released in 2024, tries to deliver. It is one of those movies that pulls you in not just with its action-packed premise, but with a deeper emotional undercurrent that slowly unfolds as the story progresses. As the film begins, you are introduced to a world that feels heavy, intense, and filled with danger lurking around every corner, and from that moment onward, it rarely lets you breathe. The story revolves around Russell Hatch, a hardened Interpol operative played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, who is tasked with protecting the son of an informant who was killed during a failed operation. Right from the opening scenes, you can sense that this is not going to be a typical action film where the hero simply punches his way through problems. Instead, there is a strong emotional motivation behind everything Russell does, and that adds a layer of depth to the narrative. He is not just fighting enemies, he is battling his own past mistakes and trying to redeem himself in a world that does not easily forgive. Jean-Claude Van Damme, known for his iconic roles in action cinema, brings a different energy to this character. While fans might expect the usual high-octane kicks and explosive fight sequences, what stands out here is his more restrained and mature performance. He plays Russell as a man weighed down by guilt and responsibility, and that subtle vulnerability makes the character feel more human. Yes, there are action moments, and they are executed with his signature style, but it is the quieter scenes that truly showcase his evolution as an actor. The direction of the film is handled by James Cullen Bressak, who has worked on several action and thriller projects. In Darkness of Man, he attempts to balance gritty realism with stylized action, and for the most part, he succeeds in creating an atmosphere that feels both tense and immersive. The pacing is steady, allowing the story to unfold gradually rather than rushing from one action scene to another. This approach helps build emotional stakes, making the audience care about what happens next instead of just waiting for the next fight sequence. One of the most interesting aspects of the film is how it blends crime drama with action elements. The narrative is not just about protecting a boy from danger, it is about navigating a complex web of crime, betrayal, and survival. The streets feel alive, almost like a character of their own, with danger lurking in every shadow. The cinematography enhances this feeling, using darker tones and tight frames to create a sense of claustrophobia and tension. It gives the movie a gritty, almost noir-like aesthetic that complements its themes perfectly. As the relationship between Russell and the young boy develops, the film starts to shift its focus from pure action to emotional storytelling. Their bond becomes the heart of the movie, and it is through this connection that we see Russell's transformation. He starts as a detached, duty-driven operative, but slowly begins to open up, revealing a softer side that he had buried beneath years of violence and regret. This dynamic adds emotional weight to the story and keeps the audience invested beyond just the action. The supporting cast also plays a crucial role in shaping the narrative. While the spotlight is firmly on Van Damme, the actors around him contribute to building a believable world. The antagonists are not just faceless villains, they have their own motivations and presence, which makes the conflict feel more grounded. This attention to character detail helps elevate the film above standard action fare, giving it a more layered and engaging storyline. When it comes to action sequences, Darkness of Man does not disappoint. The fight scenes are intense and well choreographed, staying true to the style that fans expect from Van Damme while also adapting to a more modern cinematic approach. The action feels raw and impactful rather than overly polished, which adds to the film's gritty tone. Instead of relying heavily on CGI, the movie leans towards practical effects and physical performances, making the action sequences feel more authentic and grounded. Another element worth mentioning is the film's soundtrack and sound design. The music complements the mood of the scenes without overpowering them. During tense moments, the score subtly builds suspense, while in emotional scenes, it enhances the depth of the characters' feelings. The sound design during action sequences is sharp and immersive, making every punch, gunshot, and movement feel impactful. As the story progresses, the stakes continue to rise, leading to a climax that is both intense and emotionally charged. The final act ties together the various threads of the narrative, bringing Russell's journey full circle. It is not just about defeating the enemy, but about finding closure and redemption. The ending leaves you with a sense of completion, while also lingering on the emotional impact of the journey. What makes Darkness of Man stand out is its attempt to go beyond the typical action formula. It is not just about explosions and fight scenes, it is about a man trying to make things right in a world that constantly pulls him back into darkness. This thematic depth adds a layer of meaning to the film, making it more than just a one-time watch. Of course, the film is not without its flaws. At times, the pacing can feel slightly uneven, especially in the middle portion where the story slows down to focus on character development. While this adds depth, it might not appeal to viewers who are looking for non-stop action. Additionally, some plot points could have been explored further to provide more clarity and impact. However, these are minor issues that do not significantly detract from the overall experience. From a performance standpoint, Jean-Claude Van Damme carries the film with a presence that is both commanding and introspective. It is refreshing to see him take on a role that allows him to explore different emotional shades rather than relying solely on his physical abilities. This performance adds a layer of authenticity to the character, making his journey feel more real and relatable. James Cullen Bressack's direction deserves credit for attempting to bring a fresh perspective to the action genre. By focusing on character-driven storytelling and emotional depth, he manages to create a film that stands out in a crowded space. While it may not be perfect, it shows a clear effort to push beyond conventional boundaries and offer something more meaningful. In terms of overall impact, Darkness of Man is a film that stays with you even after it ends. It is not just about the action you see on screen, but about the emotions and themes that resonate beneath the surface. It explores ideas of redemption, responsibility, and the struggle to find light in a world filled with darkness. These themes give the film a sense of purpose and make it more than just entertainment. For viewers who appreciate character-driven action films, this movie offers a compelling experience. It combines intense action with emotional storytelling, creating a balance that keeps you engaged from start to finish. While it may not appeal to everyone, especially those looking for a fast-paced, purely action-focused film, it provides enough depth and substance to make it worth watching. As the credits roll, you are left reflecting on Russell's journey and the choices he made along the way. It is a story about facing one's past, taking responsibility, and finding a way to move forward despite the odds. That emotional resonance is what ultimately defines Darkness of Man and sets it apart from many other films in the genre. In the end, Darkness of Man delivers a mix of action, emotion, and storytelling that feels both familiar and refreshing. It is a film that respects its genre while also trying to expand its boundaries, offering a more nuanced and thoughtful experience. Whether you are a fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme or simply looking for a movie that combines action with meaningful storytelling, this film has something to offer. This movie is available on YouTube free.